Hi beautiful souls, hi, I'm SoulStar aka Nini. Welcome back to my channel. Namaste. I am so sorry I have been gone for a really long time. It's been a good few weeks. I've been going through a lot of dark stuff in my personal life, and I had to take some time away from everything as much as I possibly could because there was so much darkness going on. I found it very hard to transmute my energy, and I couldn't take on as much energy as I usually do as an empath and then as a healer for a while. So I had to just find a good space, and I've managed to get to a better space. It's a beautiful sunny day in London today on Sunday, and I am in Kensington Gardens. I was guided to do a reading for the Divine Masculines, what they're going through and also what they're feeling about the Divine Feminines. Obviously you can see I am close to the high street, so if it does get a tad noisy, please just bear with me. This is a really nice sacred spot, a secret spot of mine, so I definitely want to film here so I won't be interrupted and have loads and loads of people walking behind me with their dogs. So let's get started. I've already shuffled and pulled cards for the Divine, oh yeah, let me cover myself with my dress, for the Divine Masculines. I'm going to start off with where their emotions have been a lot recently. Starting off with the mood card deck. Now this one jumped out and it just instantly makes my heart ache. The Divine Masculines are definitely feeling this loneliness. It's like us Divine Feminines have been in the lonely stage for so long, after and during and even before the whole obsession phase that happened. But because there's been so many more tower moments recently going on with the Divine Masculines, a lot of us are really developing our telepathic communication even more than we have ever before. And it's like so many of us twin flames as a collective are having heart palpitations, are suddenly getting just like super intense 10 to 15 sometimes a whole hour of just like visions of sad times. Like I've been reliving all these sad moments with me and my beloved SoulDeep again and again and again, but it's been popping in as if I'm seeing it through their eyes, like I'm seeing it through my twins' eyes and not just from my own perspective. But they're understanding that they've left the Divine Feminines out in the cold for so long that we've already felt lonely. We've already been going through this sorrow. Some of us are still in such bad sorrow, and the Divine Masculines, because they've been fighting and resisting all of these changes so much, because a lot of them are still going back into their ego headspace so heavily because that's their protection. And when they're in their heart space, they start to feel too vulnerable, and then they panic, and then they flip, and they just go straight back to the same old. They're realizing that after all these changes that they've been going through and where their life's at now, and even though they've accepted it is what it is, they're nothing without us. Like they're nothing without the Divine Feminine. It's like everything that they've been doing, everything they've been enjoying, their car rides, going out in the sun, going shopping, changing their clothes, making more successes with their businesses, with their careers, being more creative, everything they've been pushing themselves to do, actually setting their healthy boundaries with their family members and toxic people at work. They're realizing they're still completely lonely. They still need this this companionship with the Divine Feminines. They're really craving that, and I've been feeling that a lot because the music has been so strong recently that's been channeled to me through spirit. And a lot of the songs have been from J. Cole and Miguel, like All I Want Is You, deep down when I face it, all I want is you. And the Divine Masculines know this, but they don't like being in that state of vulnerability and loneliness because it makes them feel weak, and they want to be strong after all the stuff they've gone through. They really want to be strong. So Divine Masculines, and for Divine Feminines, because we're twins, so there's loads of people behind me. Yes, there is. Okay, let's keep talking anyway. Divine Masculines, how did you get to this point? Is there anyone in your life that you could talk to or get support from? How could you or what could you do to help yourself? And the affirmation for this is, I am an important part of the human race and I look forward to connecting with others. Please, please, please remember, you guys are not alone in this journey, even though sometimes it really is so harsh isn't even the right word. Sometimes it just feels like too much work, too much pain. Why am I still in so much pain after all of this time, after getting out of this situation, after healing, after doing this work? The divine masculines, they're still not realizing their whole worth. They're still not realizing all their potential. They're still doubting this connection in so many ways. At the same time, their heart's constantly drawing them nearer and nearer to us divine feminines. But because of their conditioning and how they've grown up and what they believe to be a happy relationship, and the fact is, it's not just about the relationship, it's about you finding your life purpose, your own self-mastery, your own self-love. Some of them are still fighting those changes of taking the right actions, different actions that they're not used to taking, in order to give themselves the self-love that they've always wanted their whole lives, rather than doing the cliche thing of, oh, okay, I need to make a certain amount of money and I need to provide this and this and this for my mum, my dad, my auntie, my sister, my cousin. And it's just like, no, you just need to look after yourself. So many of the divine masculines are feeling lonely because they've allowed themselves to be lonely. So many of them haven't they're finding it hard to adjust to the changes that are going on within them, all the 5D downloads from spirit. Some of them are finding it really hard to actually get to know the real them that's been hidden in all these layers of masks for so long. Wow, I didn't think I'd be saying so much about that card, but my gosh. It just makes me feel so sad, like my heart just really, really hurts. Whew. Yeah, I know you guys are going to hate this. Divine feminists are just going to be like, oh yeah, okay, again. Just like when you guys hear, they're coming, and then it happens with another twin flame and another wave, and they've done their blockages and blah, 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 and it's like, when's it my turn? It's the same thing with this. And I know you divine feminists are just going to be like, they've been confused for so long, have they not woken up now? And it's like, yes, majority of them have woken up. Okay, so Spirit's saying, oh gosh, okay. You guys know the whole cliche story. The divine masculines tend to be quite set in their ways. They have the control issues. So do us divine feminines, but it's in a different way because we're always giving too much of ourselves and need to learn how to take back some of our power and energy. Whereas the divine masculines need to be more open and receptive. And so many of them have been fighting these tower moments for so long. They've been fighting, feeling the real depths of, oh, my heart's hurting, the real depths of the heartache and heartbreak that they've not only felt their whole lives in so many lifetimes, because we're healing so much from so many lifetimes, from our ancestral families, everything that's been passed down through our DNA. And so many of them have been telling themselves still, I'm not showing annoyance, I'm showing unconditional love. Woo! But so many of them have still been convincing themselves in their headspace, okay, if I just work here and make this amount of money, and if I keep myself busy and I work out and I change my clothes and I spend some time by myself, and then I start going out, or I take myself traveling and I do this and I do that, Within a year, I'll be over my twin flame or divine counterpart or ex or that person that I don't want to talk about, but even though I literally think about them 24/7 even now, and I'm just screaming inside wanting to talk to anyone that will listen, but I know I can't because of my masculinity. I have to protect myself. People can't know that I'm still in love with this person. People can't know I'm still thinking about them. People can't know that I'm still literally struggling to sleep all the freaking time because all I can think about is them. All I want is them. All I want is them. I want to touch them. I want to, oh my gosh, like, I can just hear so many masculines just like screaming in my head right now. Like, divine feminines, they want you. Like, they really want you. Not even a joke. Like, my divine masculine, woo, soul deep. The amount of sexual energy is just like overwhelming. I can't even handle it. The amount of heart palpitations I've been getting, and I've been getting so many visions of them just, the divine masculines, they're just reliving all these certain moments where they could have said something else. They could have acted in a different way. They don't understand why, as much as they try to do the cliche things that they've always done when they've gone through a breakup or left a person, why is it not working? Why can I not get this person out of my mind? Why do I literally hear songs about them in my head? Why do I hear visions? And yes, I said hear visions, because so many of the divine masculines have been hearing us feminines' voices, like all the cute moments. They've been going back and forth between having all this regret and exhaustion over all these decisions that they've made, and they're trying to figure out, were these mistakes? Am I on the right path? I don't know what to do with my life. Is this really going to fulfill me? Am I just doing this as like a rebound technique so I don't actually, because not all the masculines have gone off with karmics, not all the masculines have gone off with other people. Some masculines are really sticking to themselves, but it's almost like they're not only confused, it's almost like aggravated. They're aggravated that they can't shut off their mind, they can't shut off their heart to this connection. Divine masculines, what are you confused about? Have you communicated your thoughts to those involved? You guys can just, like, you know, call us divine feminines, message us, turn up at our door. I'm joking, I know it's not that simple. After, for some of us, having really, really long separation, us divine feminines have to put ourselves in the divine masculine shoes and think, like, if we did the certain actions that they did, and it's been weeks, months, or years, it's such a scary thing to feel so drawn towards a person where you're like, I need to talk to them. But how do I go about it? Because I know if it was me and I had done what my divine masculine SoulDeep had done to me, and we'd switched roles, and then I'd done to them blah blah blah, and they'd done to me this, if I was the one that needed to reach out because they had done all the work first and they were more spiritually awake first, I would be freaking terrified. I would honestly be terrified. It's not as easy as it sounds, and I feel so emotional. I'm trying not to cry, because even as a divine feminine who's done so much work, and I know that Spirit's guided me, that I've done enough work and I'm in my purpose, and I do need to stay in my receptive mode to allow my divine masculine soul deep to come in, to allow all the abundance to come in now, and continue working on myself. It's just not that easy when you've gone through all of this shit that us twin flames have gone through, because it's really dark sometimes. It's really overwhelming. It's not for the faint of heart. People have to have a very, 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 very strong soul, backbone, heart, everything to go through what us twin flames have gone through in our lives separately and together. And it's like, if we had to switch roles with the divine masculines, and we had to be the ones to step forward, and they were waiting for us, how would you honestly go about it? Because so many of us divine feminines get in our ego headspace and we're like, oh my gosh, you can just call me, you can just message me, you know where I live. And granted, that's like the phase that you typically go through in the first few weeks, and then you go back and forth with it, and then it's like 5 months later, you know, like, oh my gosh, I'm so aggravated, why can't they just call me, it's not that hard, blah blah blah. And even I have gone through that back and forth for, what has it been now, 4.5 months since I haven't seen my SoulDeep. And it's like, sometimes, like, even I think 2 days ago, I just burst out crying because I was just like, my divine masculine isn't just my divine masculine, they are my best friend. I just miss my best friend in so many ways known to man. I've been missing them the whole time. I've reached out to them multiple times. I had to learn that lesson, had to allow them to have their space because everyone has their own journey, yada yada yada. But even now, I'll sometimes be like, just pick up the phone, like, just SoulDeep, just pick up the phone. But then I clock myself and I realize, if I had said certain things that they had said or acted in a certain way, and then it's been months on end or years on end, and then I had to try and figure out a way to approach the love of my life, not knowing necessarily where they are, what they've been doing, where their headspace is at, where their heart space is at, where their direction is, and then on top of that, try and figure out what the right thing is to say to that person who you just want to give the world to, but you know that in so many ways you crushed, and you don't know until you speak to them how far your divine counterpart has come along in their own journey of forgiveness and self-love. It's a very, 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 very heavy thing. It's a very, very overwhelming thing. And please, divine feminines, don't get it twisted. These divine masculines, the ones that have reached out already, the ones that are working on reaching out, you really need to be patient. And when I say be patient, I don't mean stay at home waiting, feeling sorry for yourself, just not doing anything because they're not there. No, you need to continue going out and living your life for yourself and becoming your own best friend. This whole journey is about self-mastery, being whole again in yourself first. And even though we've still got some of the mourning of missing our divine counterpart or missing our best friend in person, and sometimes it's like the 5D connection isn't enough. Really think about it. Would you be brave enough to actually step forward to the love of your life, your divine counterpart, if you guys had switched roles? It's a really, really scary thing, because imagine these divine masculines, they're so aware of how much they've hurt themselves. They're so aware that they've also been hurt by us divine feminines. They're so aware that they've hurt us divine feminines in so many ways that they don't even want to admit to themselves. They have no idea how our reaction's going to be when they turn up. Absolutely none. Unless your part of your purpose is doing like readings or YouTube channels, or you're on social media and they can find your videos, like I have been told by Spirit multiple times, SoulDeep, hello, the love of my life, I know you're watching my videos. I know. Unless they're able to get insights of you through social media, it's just like making a massive, massive bet on a situation which could hurt and crush you even more. Imagine if a divine masculine came to a divine feminine after all this work, after spending weeks back and forth, confused, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I, because so many of the divine masculines are literally taking 2 steps forward in one direction, and then they're just hesitating. I get so many audio messages from divine masculines literally about to rock up to a divine feminine's place, about to text. You know, when you have a certain tone for a text message, I keep hearing my phone making half the text message from the tone that my divine masculine has, and then it stops halfway. And it happened, I think it was last night, and I was like, Spirit, was SoulDeep about to message me? And Spirit says yes. Did they stop? Are they hesitating? Yes. It's a very, very hard thing. Like, very, very hard thing. The affirmation is I switch off from confusion and float into relaxation. Whew. All will be clear in time. And this just goes with what I said. wary. These divine masculines are very, very wary. Because some of us divine feminines, some of us have 8 of cups in certain ways where it's like, yeah, okay, I love you unconditionally, but I don't want anything to do with you. Because some divine feminines are on that path. Then there are other divine feminines like me who have been waiting for hundreds of years and hundreds of lifetimes. But then in this lifetime, we waited for a while, we had our sorrow, we had our obsession phase, we had our ego fits, why don't they love me, blah, blah, blah. Then we realized our own self-worth again, and our own power and our own self-love, and started stepping into our mission. And we're waiting, but we're not sitting at home crying to ourselves, just being like, I can't even go downstairs to the shop without my divine masculine. I can't possibly go on holiday without my divine masculine. I can't eat without my divine masculine. And I'm doing it in the most dramatic way right now because I know when it happened, it was fucking horrible. It was awful. It was disgusting. We felt like the lowest of the low, like nobody could make us feel any shitter. And then we realized, hey, we need to love ourselves. That's the whole part of this journey. The whole part. So some of us divine feminines have been waiting, as in still keeping our heart space open, still being receptive to allowing our divine masculines to come in, still been communicating with them telepathically in the 5D, but we've still been 8 of cupsing and making sure that we've actually been trying to live our lives, because we can't just put our lives on hold, because that's just going to completely keep us stagnant and we're not going to get anywhere. We're not going to get any of the abundance, love, gratitude, experiences and more life lessons that we're supposed to have. So for a lot of these divine masculines, it's like, not every divine feminine goes on YouTube, not every divine feminine goes on social media, not every divine feminine has loads and loads of friends who talk about their purpose and them stepping into their mission online. Like, the divine masculines, some of them really haven't got a freaking clue where you are, what you're doing, with who, where you're at, if you're even still living in the country, because I know so many of us twin flames have moved recently. We've gone to different spaces. We've left our old apartments, our old flats, because the pain was too much to bear, or we needed a change. Like, we've done a full eat, pray, love. Like, I'm not even joking. And right now I am in my eating phase. I did it backwards. I prayed. I loved. I am love. I am. And now I'm in my eating phase. Okay, I'm hearing this so clearly. This is the worst thing ever. This is what I'm literally hearing from these divine masculines, and I don't know how many. Okay, so Spirit's saying a large collective of the divine masculines. I want to try and get it as clear as possible. I don't know what you're going to say to me when I turn up. I don't know how I can show you in every single way that I want to that I love you, you're the love of my life, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I forgive you. I don't know how to make you understand that I needed all this time to work on myself, to find my own happiness, because I haven't been happy for so long. And I've had so many happy times with you, but even then I wasn't being my full true self. I've had this mask on for so long, it's ingrained in me, and I need time to find out who I really am, so that when I come back to you, hopefully you'll accept me for exactly as I am. And even though you think you love me now and you think you know me now, I still don't even know myself fully yet. And it's something I need to do. I'm trying not to cry. And it's something I need to do for myself first. Because the last thing I want to do is come back into your life and hurt you all over again, because it would destroy me, and I almost haven't survived this time. And I don't want to hurt you anymore. And I don't want to hurt anymore. And I know that with you, I'm my best version. I can be my best version. And I know you're becoming your best version, and I'm so happy for you. But I need to get to the level within myself where I'm comfortable enough and happy and satisfied enough, where I know that I feel good within myself. So if there's any ridiculous, inconsiderate, non-important or stupid, egotistical arguments or disagreements or miscommunication, that I don't act the same way I acted before, and I don't leave you out in the cold. Because I love you, Divine Feminine. I love you, I love you, I love you so much. I just don't know what the right way is for me to go about this. How do I explain to you all the things I've been feeling, thinking, going through? How do I explain all the jealousy? And I don't want to be jealous of you, but sometimes I feel so bad about myself, and I see you shining bright, and I know that you deserve the world, and I know you deserve better than me, and I saw you standing in your power. I need to figure out if I'm good enough for that, because right now I feel like I don't deserve you. And I want to be deserving of you. Wow, my heart is hurting so much. It's like the Divine Masculine's hearts are just like, they're full on crying out like a baby. They're crying out so much. They're crying out for all this love. They're crying out for their own sense of self, for their own self-worth. They're crying out for the Divine Feminines. They know they want this life with us. They know that it's part of their purpose. They know that's why we met each other. They know that's why the things that happened the way they did. They know this is all to teach each other lessons. And they want to be with us, but they really have to find their own space first. And some of them are getting called and nudged so much. I keep hearing music again, like music is such a strong channeling right now. For so many of us twin flames, but we're literally just hearing music again and again, and it instantly just takes us into this vision of our twin flames. And the Divine Masculines are hearing so many songs about the feminines. But it's just so hard for them to try and figure out if they deserve this, why they deserve this, how on earth can they even come up with something substantial enough to say, to bring forth to us, because they know that when they come, they have to be 100%. They know when they come, they have to be 100%, because us Divine Feminines aren't going to accept crumbs. We're not going to accept just 25% of all this love, abundance and purpose and healing. Like, no, we need the full 100%. And it's so terrifying, because if they come with their 100% and the Divine Feminine isn't receptive to it, or is already completely moved on and decided that they want to be with other people or go off and do other things and not worry about this divine counterpart, and they've let them go and love them unconditionally and they don't want them back, it's just another reason why some of them are resisting, because some of them are resisting some of this healing work and growth and change, because they know they're doing it for themselves. They know they're doing it to get on their highest path, and they know that part of their highest path is this twin flame union. And it's almost like they're putting it off a little bit. Okay, a little bit more, a little bit more. Let me just put it off a little bit more, because as soon as I get there, I know I'm going to have to step forward to my divine feminine. And how the hell am I going to do that? What if I say all the right words that I think my divine feminine's going to want to hear, and then my divine feminine has had a bad day at work, or they're in their ego headspace, or it's not happening exactly the way that the divine feminines want it to happen because the divine feminine may have not let go of expectations? Then what's going to happen? Another massive blow up, and it's going to hurt us even more when we've already been so hurt. These energies are so harsh. Divine masculines, I'm sending you so much love. I promise you, babies. Like, you can get through this. And the best piece of advice I can think of right now is, if you really, really want something, and you know that in your heart this is part of why you're here, you have to get in that space like us divine feminines and not have any expectations, but give it your all to get what you want. Keep working on manifesting everything you want. And when you're guided to reach out to us divine feminines, don't hesitate, don't resist it, go and do it. Be your authentic self, as scary as that sounds, because the best way to find out if something is really for you is to go in 100% effort, being authentically yourself, saying what you need to say from your heart. And if the divine feminine accepts it, that's great, fantastic. If the divine feminine makes it a bit challenging, starts an argument, you can decipher whether this is right, whether it isn't right. It's probably all a test again to see how well you can communicate this time. And if the divine feminine has decided that actually they